Okay, people, we've heard it all. End of the world and the aliens. What we gotta ask ourselves, out of all my research of years, watching video clips, doing research on TV that are telling us differently, trying to confuse us. Now we got people saying back in 1985 and years before, they were abducted by aliens. These certain aliens described what they look like. And then we got people years later saying the same thing and the same thing. Could it be fame? Could it all be connected? Back in the day, they say the tall, the grey, the reptilian aliens. Okay, now this is 1983, I think it was. And they talk about the guy that was abducted and said he's seen a tall alien. Now he told a different story. They put him on a lie detector test and not everything added up. But if you look before that, there's more stories. If you look on YouTube and actually watch videos, go back, go forth, go back, go forth, you will see that the stuff that was said years before is stuff that's been saying now. And stuff that was years before adds up everywhere. Even back to the Mayan traditions and all the things to do with the calendar, and I've got some good points. Okay, now this is my theory. If the world was to end on December 21st, 2012, it's a predicted date. One date. Okay? Now take into account countries aren't all on the same day or timelines. So if it's the end of the world on the 21st, which country comes first? It's going to be the 20th in one country, and it's going to be the 22nd in another country. So will that country end and then the next day the following? Something to think about. Also, they talk about aliens guiding us in society throughout our years. The Illuminati being one of the big cover-ups of this. Now, the Illuminati started everything, and they could be right about brainwashing us into religion and distracting us from the actual truth. Now, saying that as well, the Illuminati is a very powerful race, talks about angels and demons. Now, every time someone says they see God or they see a spiritual, it always comes from the sky. Why do these always come from the sky? Why do they come down to earth? It's a mix between spiritual belief and coexistence. Back in the Mayan calendar, I'll go back to that, where all the evidence points to having an alien civilization. Okay, now these Mayans were very violent, and these aliens are meant to be peaceful, but they were guided by the aliens for the future of revelation of man. Now, the question is, where'd they all go? I mean, there's no tombs, there's no bodies. They got extinct, but how? No one knows how. No one said how this has actually happened. And saying that as well, with the pyramids and everything like that, no man could build them. And they're all spaced under the sky. So they all have revelation to something that you can't bypass as has happened. And you can block it out as much as you want, but you really got to think about it sometimes, that not everything's a lie. Maybe these were warnings. Maybe these are the 21st is actually a time of a new generation. Men and aliens are kind. They are talking now about the military working with aliens to because the military is scared of taking them on because they're so powerful. And then you got the film clip that was handed over by a guy that reckons he worked in Area 51 of an actual alien interview. Now this has gone through people that produce movies and scientists, and some people say it's real, some people say it's fake, but it's hard to tell. If you're looking at it and it's real, will your mind be blocked from that? Will you believe what you want? I'm not a massive person that believes, okay, but I can't deny the fact that I've had an experience myself A few years back, I was outside drinking with a mate. He was flirting with my sister on the front veranda. Now, I heard this weird humming noise, and it got louder. And because I was in the front yard and no one on the veranda, it kind of made me look up. And as I looked up, I seen a triangular shape of stars covering half the sky at least. It was huge. And these stars were like pointed in a triangle and just went straight over me in a matter of 3 to 4 seconds. The humming noise, when it was above me, was loud, and it kind of faded away like whoop, 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 and it was gone. To this day, I can't really remember what my reaction was after that. I've been trying to think back, and what did I do? Did I go to my mate and did I say, geez, did you see that? Or that's unbelievable, or what was that? And I can't really remember what I done after that. It was so long ago, and I've tried to rack my brain, and I just can't remember. Also, with the theory of them having mind control, you can't misjudge this either. If they were to control the government and the military, their idea is world order. Take over another world civilisation, just like they used to run back in the day. Now, we've been told that we've been blocked from knowing this. I'll tell you how they've done this. For one, there's school and university. So much stress, all you're worried about is controlling the outcome of your schooling. TV's diversible. You can't say there's not half the country that sit down there and just watch TV. This distracts the mind. This gives them something to think about while they're watching their show. Hidden clues with, movies, what's actually going on. They're little insights to letting us know but not actually telling us. Work, money, crisis, war, fear, everything, if you think about it in a mind perspective, is controlled. You need to think about that subject to think about an outcome for it, which controls the brain, which makes you think 24/7 almost. Even when you're sleeping, you're thinking the same thing. Now, there was a couple of weeks ago where a Russian Prime Minister actually announced that they work with aliens. He described it as being a bit like Men in Black, a secret society. Will we ever be told this? Or will we find out when it's our time, if it is our time? Obviously the government's not going to tell anyone because they don't want worldwide panic. And that's also something he said. If he was actually to tell us how many were here, it will cause worldwide panic. And that's something we need to ask ourselves as well. What's going on? Tell us. We want to know. All this secrecy and hiding, like the asteroid that passed Earth, I think it was the 9th of December or the 11th. We weren't told about that. If they had hit Earth, that would have been it. We would have found out then. They would have been in their bunkers hiding. So you really need to open your minds to what really goes on in the world. Pay attention. You've been mind confused. You've been distracted into other things, so you don't actually pay attention to what's going on. As well with the UFO sightings, there's a guy that worked at Area 51 that said he used to work with UFOs, and the government was trying to figure out how to fly them and control them and make them for themselves. Now this was 20 years ago. He said he actually worked with aliens and had to ask permission to change stuff. Now look at today. We've seen UFOs all over the country. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people in one country sees the one UFO flying around. So, from back then, him telling that story to now what we're seeing kind of connects in a way. So this is my theories, and this is everything that I've researched and seen on YouTube. Nostradamus being another one. And these people aren't stupid from back in the day. They didn't say this so the government can say, no, it's not true. They were smarter than what we are now. And you have to question really what's going on. That's really all I have to say. But something is going on and we need to find out what it is.